Hello everyone, Simon Jacobson here, and welcome to another episode of Meaningful Live. How to give charity amid financial uncertainty. This program is dedicated by Zenaida Nagit in memory of Geraldo Valerio Nagit. Charity is a very, very interesting concept. On one hand, most civil people could agree that being charitable, giving, compassionate, sharing is one of our most noblest virtues, especially if you've been blessed with abundance or blessed in any way. So it makes total sense that we should share some of our blessings, whether it's financial, time, advice, ingenuity, experience. On the other hand, we find how difficult it is, especially when it comes to a monetary charity, how difficult it is for many people, maybe not for everyone, but for many, to give of their own, of what they have earned, what they feel is a result of their efforts, of their time, of their energy. We find how difficult it is. You know that joke where the rabbi gets up in the synagogue and says, "Hey, my friends, my dear congregants, we have a leak in the roof, and we need $100,000 to fix that leak. I have good news and bad news. The good news is we have the money. The bad news, it's in your pockets." It's difficult. It's difficult. They tell the story of three friends went out rowing in a rowboat, and Joe falls out of the rowboat and he's thrashing about. He says, "Save me, save me, save me." He couldn't swim, so his two friends row up close to him and they throw out the oar to him, and they say to him, "Give me your hand, give me your hand." He says, No, absolutely not." And one guy says to the other, "Why is he not doing that?" He says, "Don't you know Joe doesn't know how to give? Say, take my hand. Say, take my hand." He grabs the hand, grabs the oar, and they get him onto the rowboat. He knows how to take, he doesn't know how to give. So we see how difficult the resistance we have. So it's a fascinating study of human psychology, of understanding, on one hand, the importance of giving, on the other hand, why is it sometimes so difficult to give? Is it a sign of insecurity? Is it a sign of greed, of selfishness? Does it go back to the biological evolutionary theory of survival of the fittest, the selfish gene? It's all about me, me, me. And the only reason I'll give you is because I get something in return. And we can go on in discussing different theories. I want to present to you a very different approach into the very essence and nature of who we are. Are we essentially givers or takers? That's a very important question. So, the case I'm going to make is a case for giving, that it's natural to us to be giving, and we become healthier when we give. I'll begin with a law. This is a law, a Jewish law that goes back thousands of years, that we all have the obligation to give charity. Tzedakah, it's called. Question is, who has this obligation? Everybody? What about a pauper? What about someone who has barely anything for themselves? Interestingly, the law states that even a pauper, a penniless pauper, has also an obligation to give. And you'll think, what can he give? He doesn't have anything. If he'll make something. Because giving is not quantity, it's quality. It's the fact that you have something to give. It could be a penny, it could be less than a penny. But it means that you're not just on the receiving end. Because it's necessary for a human being to be healthy is to be giving. Is to give of themselves. It makes you breathe. Imagine someone can only inhale and cannot exhale. Only a contraction, not an expansion. What would we be like? Life is a pulsating energy of give and take, tension and resolution. That's necessary for life. And that's what the statement is. It's not just obligation to be charitable. It's good for you. Because you see within ourselves, just like we have muscles, and we have nerves, and we have other parts of the body that need nutrients, exercise, rest, the soul, the spirit of the human being also has faculties. And one of them is called love. How do you exercise love? By giving. Love is not exercised by taking, by giving. That exercise, that part of your heart, not the physical heart, the emotional part of it, that allows it to function. And the more you give, the healthier you become. And that's why everybody is obligated to do so. Even a pauper. Obviously, someone who has a lot more is obligated to give more. But that's already a matter of quantity. There's a fascinating statement in the Ethics of the Fathers that tells us, who is the wise person? One who learns from everyone. Which tells us two things, that everyone has something to teach and everyone has something to learn. There's no one that can say, I have nothing to learn from anyone. I know it all. And there's no one that can say, I have nothing to teach. Everyone has something to give. It's by virtue of our very existence that we have something that is indispensable, something valuable, precious, that others need from us. And that's the give and take. That is the true photosynthesis of our psychological labyrinth, our network, where we all are needed and we all need another. We all feed each other, we all nourish each other. Yes, like cross-pollination, exactly that. And it's part of the ecosystem, it's part of the very healthy organism. Look at the human body. Is there any part of the body that doesn't need other parts? Whether it's the blood running through all our systems, our arteries and our veins and our capillaries, whether it's the nervous system, whether it's the other parts of our beings, everything is necessary. There's a constant interactivity, interconnectivity is an even better way of putting it. The Kabbalists talk about it in context of that everything is really one organism and just different parts all complementing each other, harmony within diversity. So taking that back now to the concept of charity, it's actually necessary to be a giver. And let's look at it at the effects of it on a person. A person who only takes may have physically hoarding more, but what does it really do to you? You'll see the most secure people, the people who are most healthy, are the easiest people to give, because they don't feel they're losing something when they share with someone else. So giving actually makes us healthier. There's a statement in the Talmud that says, bread of shame it's called. That's a bread that you receive as a gift. That a person enjoys more, one measure that you earn on your own than 9 measures that you receive as a gift. Now, $9 million can buy a lot more than 1 million. However, you'll blow it quicker as well because it's not yours. You haven't earned it. It doesn't have that internalization, that integration that comes when something you've earned it. That's human nature. It really means that each of us is a creator. We're not just a creation. We're not just on the receiving end. We have the power to initiate, to be proactive, to generate. And what that does to our psyche is wonders. It builds confidence, breeds confidence. When you feel you have something to give, that only strengthens your self-esteem and your self-confidence and your sense of self. Because I have something to contribute. Not out of arrogance, it's just a sense of value. And when you don't feel you have anything to give, people say, oh, we don't really need you. You're not necessary. You don't have anything to contribute. What does that do to a person? It's demoralizing because ultimately it undermines the very spirit of who we are as human beings. We are divine in the sense that we have the ability to give. So this is a critical point where there's another statement from the sages, a beautiful statement, that more than the recipient receives from the giver receives from the recipient. More than the poor man, the pauper, receives from the wealthy one receives from the poor man. Because there's something we receive when we give that we never get just by being only on one end of the stick. We have to be able to give, and that gives us something back. We can call it refractive energy, something like moonlight. The moon, we know, reflects the sun, but it's not a mirror. There's something about the moon that has its own power. Something about the moon, that haunting picture. You'll see two people who love each other stare at the moon. You never look at them staring at the sun. So though the sun is the all-powerful sun, the giver, The moon in its receiving, there's a certain eloquence, a certain poetry, a certain beauty, a certain humility, a certain sublimeness. That's the right word. Something subliminal about it. The ability to receive. Same thing with a student. When you empty yourself and you say, I want to absorb something greater than myself. And many other things that really can quite capture that particular power. So though giving is a tremendous thing, receiving has a power that giving does not have. And that's why the giver needs to give, because he receives that power in return. So getting back now to the very initial question, how to give charity amid financial uncertainty, the answer is how not to. That's what you need. It's not about amount of finance, it's amount of uncertainty. What's the best solution to uncertainty? What is the best solution to doubts? Is to create something that's certain. And what is certain is that you have value. You have value that's beyond anything you'll ever give. So therefore, of course, one has to give. Like I said before, even a pauper. Because it's about your own dignity. It's about your own nobility, your own majesty. And it's a tremendous concept that we're not taught enough. We're taught in school, most cases in the world today, we're taught if no one's going to take care of you, if you don't take care of yourself, no one will take care of you. That type of dog eats dog, survival of the fittest attitude. I can't resist. These two guys go camping, middle of the night, one of them wakes up and says to the other, hey, we got to get out of here. There's a bear rustling about. A bear. And as he's telling his friend to let's run, he's tying his shoelaces of his sneakers. And his friend says to him, 1 second, I don't understand. You think you can outrun the bear? He says, no. All I have to do is outrun you. The selfish gene. About me, it's about me. I'm submitting that there's a very different approach to life. That the giving person is the healthier one. The giving person is the one that lives on. There's something about it that just energizes, empowers us. Interesting. By giving, you get more empowered than by taking. So Joe there in the boat, he never knew how to give. He knows how to take. And as I mentioned before, often that's a result of our own insecurities or what we've seen around us. We feel I need more and more, and as much as I have, it's not enough. It goes against the very grain of real nature, and that is that give and take of everything in existence. Imagine the oxygen in the air refused to enter into our lungs. No, I'm not interested in giving you anything. What am I getting in return? Imagine all of the universe, all of nature, refusing, closing the door, and say, no, I'm not giving. It's all about the giving. It's all about the give. And that giving in turn creates that cycle. The give and take, the breathing, the exhale and inhale, the cycle, that pulsating process, the rhythm of life. So no matter what situation it is, be blessed. Never feel that you have something not to give, no matter how uncertain it is. Even if there's financial challenges, always figure out a way to give. People who say, I'll make my first $1 million, then you'll see I'll be charitable. Yeah. People who are charitable when they're little children. Even when they have very little, they share. Someone that's not charitable, they could have $1 billion and they still will not be charitable. It's not how much money you have in the bank. It's your attitude to life. It's an approach to life. That's how it is. So let's teach our children. I wouldn't even call the word charity. Charity almost sounds like I'm the one that has, you don't have, and I'm being benevolent and kind to you. The word really tzedakah in Hebrew captures it much better. It's just as tzedakah means kindness. It means virtue. It means a magnanimity. It's a transcendent experience, not just one I'm throwing out scraps to those that are less fortunate. It's something far deeper than that. It allows you to breathe. It allows you to be the best you can be. So always remember that. No matter where you are in life, you always have something to teach, something to give, even financially. And you should be blessed that you should be able to give a lot financially, and a lot in every possible way, because it's ultimately the art of giving is the art of love, is the art of transcendence. It's a divine gift. It's seeing the face of God. May you be blessed to always be a powerful giver and never need to be a taker. And in the process, receive more than you'll ever give to anyone around you, recognizing that humbly. Thank you so much. This has been Simon Jacobson, Meaningful Live, every Sunday, Eastern Time, New York time, 3 p.m. Please share. We have a very robust and growing YouTube channel, so please share this with others. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And I would love to hear your feedback, your thoughts, your comments, your questions, suggestions. It's a give and take. I need you, you need me, in a good way. We all complement each other like musical notes in a large cosmic composition. Thank you again. Simon Jacobson here. Check us out at meaningfullife.com, our YouTube channel, as I just mentioned. Meaningful Life Center. Be blessed, be a giver, and recognize the power that you have, the enormous power you have to give and give. Thank you. Be well.